Hello everyone, I'm tribalkai and welcome to the EDH channel. Today's video is sponsored on Patreon by a huge mountain of drugs. If you'd like to support the channel by bolstering the drug cartel, then you can visit Patreon and donate with the link in the description below. Failing that, a like, comment and subscribe is always appreciated. Now, let's have a look at everyone's opening hands. First off, it's myself with Tevesh Szat and Kamahl, Heart of Krosa. And in my opening hand is a 3-lander, along with some ramp, and Scoot Swarm should do nicely with the Kodama's Reach and the fetch land, not to mention the ability to tutor, probably for some fast mana here. Up next is Billy Kills with Araumi of the Dead Tide. And strangely enough, I can understand why he's kept that one. He could get lucky off of the Careful Study and get into another land. And then once he's into another land, he can go for the Millikin, which is obviously self-mill, as well as some mana. And after that, he'll be at 3 mana, which means he can windfall if he's absolutely desperate. Otherwise, he can just entomb and go for something with the Dread Return. Not as bad a hand as it might look. Cazur Ukkima now, being piloted by Deja Shade. And that seems like a pretty easy one to keep to me. You have 2 lands, 2 pieces of ramp, a tutor, probably a ways of killing someone really quickly with Ukkima and Hatred. I would imagine Demonic Tutor goes for some kind of card draw spell there, but it depends what they've got in hand after the ramp, obviously. And finally we've got Kalamax the Stormsire, being piloted by Valdrieg. And not bad, but not a great hand for Val. 3 lands, he's got all 4 of his colours thanks to the Arcane Signet. Maybe a means of keeping attention away from him with that aura, but apart from that, he's pretty much looking for some more card draw in this hand. Be sure to let me know what you think of me showing you all of my opponent's opening hands. Obviously I don't know of their opening hands until after the game, but it is a hell of a lot more work to include this at the beginning of the video, so if you don't care for it, be sure to let me know. On with the game. That's an okay hand. We've got some ramp to get going on turn 3, so let's keep that one. Drawing into Liliana, Dreadhorde General. On our first turn we are starting the game off, so let's go for a tap land with the Windswept Heath. Careful Study from Billy Kills, playing against 3 patrons today. And then just a couple of lands coming in and tapping them down. Yavimaya Coast from Deja Shade on the partner deck. And then Valdrieg putting something under the Mosswort Bridge, a Read the Bones for us. I think Demonic Tutor for some fast mana would be alright. We could go for Mana Crypt here and then try and get a Tevesh Szat down really quickly, but I think I would rather just go for Sol Ring and carry on ramping with Kodama's Reach. And we might even be in line for a Liliana quite quickly then. Millikin from Billy Kills. Arcane Signet coming down for Shade. And an Arcane Signet for Val as well. Then a Rishkar's Expertise for us, getting into some expensive stuff, so I'm glad I went for the Sol Ring. Let's get that down and we'll go Kodama's Reach as well. Should have waited on the land drop, I suppose. Now then, we do want to make tokens, so I've mixed up the basics for Field of the Dead. So we've got a Snow Swamp and we need a Snow Forest, so it's a Snow Forest and a basic swamp we'll go for here. Temple of Deceit from Billy Kills now, and then going in for an Entomb, which will put any card from their library into the bin. Entomb went for the Phyrexian Triniform, and then they milled a Dimir Aqueduct with the Millikin. What else has been milled here? There's a Gonti in the bin. And do you remember the last game that we played with Agent of Treachery? Yeah, it went pretty crazy. So already some good stuff to reanimate in there. Anyway, Demonic Tutor on Deja Shade. And they probably went for a Sol Ring themselves. Into a Talisman, so everyone's doing a decent job of ramping. And speaking of ramp, there is a Gruul Signet from Valdrieg. And a Wood Elves for us. I'm just wondering if there's going to be a land and a Lightning Greaves over here. They'll have 4 cards in hand during their turn, so I'm going to assume that they don't. I really don't want to see haste on Araumi if we're going to get down Liliana here. So let's go for a Swamp and in for Liliana. Then plus on the Liliana to make a zombie. The milling a Gravebreaker Lamia now. And that's one thing we don't want to see, is a flyer. Our opponent going for the evoke cost on that. They made sure to draw the cards, going up to 5, and then ended the turn, so cheating in the Muldrifter. So that's going to give our Planeswalkers a hard time. If we get out our Tevesh Szat next turn, then at least they'll have to choose between 2 different Planeswalkers that they want to swing in at with that. We could always go for the minus on Liliana, I suppose. Eternal Witness grabs back the Demonic Tutor for Shade. Then casting Demonic Tutor. And leaving the turn at that. So holding up 2 blue mana, I dare say they went for some kind of counter magic there. Murmuring Mystic from Valdreig, which will get them into some tokens on casting instants and sorceries. Alright, now Ugin as well. Too bad we don't have Doubling Season on us. Why don't we go for the -4 on Liliana then? It gets rid of a good creature in Murmuring Mystic, and we're going to take damage to her with Muldrifter anyway, so we might as well take our opponent down some mill and mana. Okay, Deja Shade going for something in response. That is Teferi's Time Twist. I would probably destroy that in response, just because they're probably going to get another Demonic Tutor with that, but yeah, we'll let it go. Nothing we can do about it anyway. So we sacrifice a zombie, of course. Everyone will lose their creatures here, apart from the E-Witness, which will come in again at the end of the turn. And then we draw a card because we had a creature die, and wow, we're getting into all our expensive stuff. I'm really glad we've been able to ramp this game. So we go like that. Yep, let's go for the Wood Elves. We'll grab a Bayou. And then into our Tevesh Szat. And we'll carry on attempting to make tokens. Create a couple of Thralls. Then E-Witness enters again with a plus counter on it at the end of the turn. Oh, and they went for the Teferi Flicker card there, as opposed to going for the Demonic Tutor. Undead Return. So going for the Agent of Treachery, and here we go with all this mess. They take the Tevesh Szat away from us. And make some Thrall tokens with it. And then sacrificing all 3 of the creatures to the Dread Return and bringing back the Phyrexian Triniform this time. The Dread Return has flashback, sack 3 creatures for anyone who doesn't know. And the Phyrexian Triniform dodges our Ugin as well, unfortunately. Ukkima, Stalking Shadow coming down. And that's one of my favourites, Branching Evolution, to get multiple plus counters on things. Shiny Impetus, +2/+2 and Goaded on a creature. And that goes on to Ukkima. So now it has to swing in every combat available, but it can't go in at Valdreig. And another Planeswalker for us. Wow, we can destroy... we can destroy Tevesh with that, can't we? Might actually be worth doing, but can we get through this blue mana? Let's plus on Liliana first. And yeah, I think I'm just going to attempt this now, because if we play around the counter magic here and then go for the Garruk next turn and it still gets countered, then there's every chance that this could get the limit break, so let's attempt to get some counter magic out of Deja Shade's hand. And that is going to get through, seemingly. So we will plus. And destroy another Planeswalker in Tevesh Szat. And this isn't Super Friends, believe it or not, but we are drawing into a lot of our Planeswalkers. Got both Parallel Lives and Doubling Season in here, so like I said before, the Doubling Season should go nicely with our Planeswalkers if we can get into it. Araumi coming into play now with 2 mana held up, so hopefully there's not a Greaves there. And deciding not to swing in with the Triniform. A little bit more ramp from Shade. And the Ukkima going in at us directly. And we can't block that. Could have gotten rid of the Liliana there, which is noteworthy. but going for something in response to attacks here. And that's a hatred, okay, so just going for the one shot there. But that is an arcane denial from Billy Kills, so deciding to save us there. So I think that gains me some loyalty towards Billy Kills this game. Might be to do with the fact that he wants to make use of the Araumi and the, where is it, Agent of Treachery to steal our stuff. Anyway, EDH going down to 3 cards in hand, hits us for 4 with his commander. We might have to lose the Liliana to get rid of some stuff here. They've still got the Teferi Flicker card held up, which is noteworthy. And at the beginning of the next upkeep, EDH can draw a couple of cards. Billy Kills draws 1. Glade Muse from Valdrieg. Whenever a player casts a spell, if it's not their turn, that player draws a card. It's a weird one to wrap your head around this. So it rewards you for playing on everyone else's turn. Okay, E-Witness can grab us back a Demonic Tutor if we like. Let's see here. We could always go for Ugin. And -3 with the Ugin. That might be an idea because then we can just carry on making tokens. It still gets rid of these things. Or it'll get rid of at least one of them. Due to the flicker, it'll take Goaded off of that as well. Or more importantly, take the buff off of it. Yeah, so let's see if we can land an Ugin before anything else. Okay, we do manage to land it, so let's go -X, where X is 3. That will get rid of the coloured creatures, the branching evolution, and I think that's it. And then the flicker card being used to save the commander here. They did draw a card from the Glade Muse there. So the Ukkima is going to survive. We won't be able to point any removal at that, unfortunately. And then it can be a Death Touching Beast from Garrick. And a zombie from Liliana. And unfortunately, EDH did it wrong with the Teferi's Time Twist, so their commander is in the command zone again. A windfall coming in from Billy Kills. I don't like that, particularly because we've got good cards in hand here. So we're pretty much going to get into our worst hand here. It also gives our opponents more cards. They're at 3, 5 and 3 at the moment, as opposed to our 6. Now then, what have we gotten into? Wow, we were a ways away from another land, that's noteworthy. Don't mind Tend to Shoot Dryad, or the Garrick Cursed Huntsman though. Now the Phyrexian Triniform coming in towards Garrick, going to block with the zombie so that we don't kill this thing. Because Death Touch would obviously kill it, we'll just have to hope that, I mean in Dimir they're not likely to get trample onto it. And then a creature we control dies, so Liliana will draw us a card. And we draw into one of the new lands from Commander Legends, which will come in untapped. Roiling Regrowth from Valdrieg at the end of Billy Kills' turn. An Evolution Sage. If I'd known that I was going to draw into all my Planeswalkers this game, then I probably would have packed an Evolution Sage myself. Then Sawtusk Demolisher is mutate. Whenever this creature mutates, destroy a non-creature permanent. Yeah, so that is a Beast Within, basically. So, obviously going over the top of the Evolution Sage. And which walker do they want? They want rid of Liliana. I think this thing might have to eat a Song of the Dryads, but might want to save that for Ukkima, I'm not sure. Then Bitter Blossom. Yeah, so I think instead we'll point the Apex Predator at this and destroy it. Goblin Dark Dwellers from Valdrieg. And that has Menace, which might be relevant. I'm not sure what instants and sorceries they have to go for here. Just going for the Roiling Regrowth. There's a Melek in the bin. They've got Talrand in there as well. Didn't look at what people discarded before. Hunter's Insight. There might be a mass reanimation spell from Billy Kills, so it's worth knowing what's in people's graveyards. Evacuation. Loyal Subordinate. Rancor, a Berserk, Sword of Feast and Famine. So we know what their aim is after the hate that we saw with Ukkima. And then over here we have Kelga, a Diluvian Primordial, Grave Titan. Yeah, I think we've seen everything else in there. Alright, so before we do anything else, why don't we see if we can land this Garrick. Billy Kills is holding up priority, so he may well have counter magic now. But it does manage to hit, so do we want... I think we want multiple tokens instead, so let's go for the tokens there. Then we'll destroy the Beast Within mutate creature. Then play Undergrowth Stadium before it comes into play tapped. And I think we're okay to take in a beast at Deja Shade. We block this with a wolf token. And then a beast and a wolf token can go on the menace creature. So yeah, we'll swing in at Deja Shade. We've got Beast Within as backup if we're desperate. Sir Comrade the Grim, I don't think they can redirect damage at the Planeswalkers with that. No, it's to each opponent. And then leaving the Triniform back again, over to Deja Shade's turn. Now the other commander coming down for Deja Shade, Cazur, Ruthless, Stalker. And they can get down their Ukkima as well if they want to. I think that should only cost 5 mana. Yep, and tapping almost all their mana into Ukkima. I think that might have to have a Song of the Dryads put on it next turn. Holding up a couple of blue mana again. I don't think they have... Yeah, Teferi's Time Twist is in the bin. They haven't shown us that they have any counter magic yet, but they might be relying on more flicker stuff. Might point Beast Within at that, just to get something out of their hand. Rashmi Eternity's Crafter from Val, that's a good one. Then it is the Goblin Dark Dwellers coming in towards Ugin. How many loyalty do we need on this? Yeah, if we just block with the wolves here, we can get the emblem off with Garrick. Don't know if we want to wait a turn for that though. Anyway, let's block with the wolf tokens. So all 3 of those creatures trade each other. And Sir Conrad will ping us all, because creatures went into the bin there. Then it is a loyalty counter onto our Garrick. Per wolf that died, which is obviously 2. Now then, are we going to minus down with the Ugin or not? I would really like rid of the Bitter Blossom because it's tricky for our Planeswalkers. We could -4, get rid of pretty much all the creatures apart from Sir Comrade and the Phyrexian Triniform. Make some wolf tokens and a beast token so we'd have 3 in play again. I'm just trying to work out whether we go Beast Within here or not. I think we just hold on to it. So it's round to our turn again. Let's turn in sideways towards Deja Shade and see what they do. Deciding to block a 3/3 beast with the Fairy Rogue. And that pings everyone with Sir Conrad because a fairy died. And then we could always just plus on the Ugin. At the Ukkima, I suppose. Yeah, maybe we should just do that instead. Let's plus and get rid of Ukkima. And then if they go for a flicker spell in response, we can Beast Within on that. But it does go down. Sir Comrade helping us to get rid of Deja Shade slowly. Ukkima gets pointed at us. They'll gain a little bit of life there. But Sir Conrad continuing to ping. So let's make some tokens. And we'll just have to hope that we don't see any trample. I'll probably go for the Garrick emblem next turn. I'm just going to be greedy and keep some tokens in play here. So let's drop a command tower. And we're all ready for Field of the Dead at this point if we draw into it. Try ourselves a Tendershoot Dryad. And maybe we can set up for our green commander next turn. That comes down. So we might as well get ourselves a Talisman of Resilience and we'll hold up the Beast Within again. So we've been playing a lot of control throughout most of the game, but slowly starting to get ourselves up to a lot of tokens. Rashmi will trigger off of a natural connection, search for a basic, put it onto the battlefield tapped. And they reveal a mountain off of that. Tendershoot Dryad triggers at the beginning of each player's upkeep, so we should get a few Saprolings by the time our next turn rolls around. Now a Rhystic Study coming in for the Dimir player. And Feed the Swarm going onto our Tendershoot Dryad, so I didn't get to keep it for very long, unfortunately. They will lose 5 life to that at least. Ukkima coming back into play for Deja Shade. And the Rhystic Study will obviously trigger on every spell cast from now on. Then a Plague Mere from Shade as well. Noteworthy that that has Infect, so I've no doubt that they'll be able to buff that and one-shot someone. It's just masquerading as a Mana Dork. Commune with Lava from Valdrieg at the end of Deja Shade's turn. Exile the top X cards. X is 2 here. And until the end of your turn you can play them. I don't think they paid into the Rhystic Study there. Billy Kills us at 4 cards anyway. And they revealed a Forest off of Rashmi. Got into Bonder's Ornament and a land off of the X spell, so yeah, not having the best of luck getting into anything other than mana by the looks of it. And there's another flyer, Crackling Drake. Doesn't have haste, thankfully. But when it enters the battlefield, they do get to draw a card. They'll get one from Rashmi as well, as ever. And again, revealing a land with that. Then playing that Bonder's Insight off the top. And I think Billy Kills got another card there. He's up to 6 in hand now. Okay, are we keen to get rid of the Rhystic Study? Because now's a good time to do it. We can pay into it with Beast Within at 4 mana. Our commander is going to be 5, 6, 7 mana if we want to go for that, off of the emblem. And a Concordant Crossroads, which leaves us with 5 mana, I think. Yeah, I think we just leave it. Okay, Skyclave Relic, we get into some mana of our own. Let's go for the emblem straight away with this Garrick. So all of our stuff getting, what is it, +3/+3 and trample for the rest of the game. I think it might have to be a minus on Ugin again as a means of continuing to control the game, so let's try and get rid of Deja Shade here, and then we can minus on Ugin and continue to hold creatures up. It's a slow, methodical game, this one, because everyone's eyes are drawn to us. For obvious reasons, we do look like a Super Friends deck and have played like one this game. So they've got 5, 6 and 7 points of toughness, which means we have to put a total of 13 points of power through. So we'll go with a couple of wolves and a Saproling. Yeah, so that should be enough. Let's push another one through, just in case Valdrieg or Deja Shade interferes. And I suppose if I'm going to minus down Ugin, I should have swung in with the beast as well, shouldn't I? I've got it in my head that I want to keep some creature tokens back. Alright, so that is Deja Shade dealt with. We probably should have been knocked out there, but Billy Kills was very kind to us. Kind or wanting to steal my permanents, I'm not sure. I have to speak to him afterwards. So I think this can maybe destroy the flyer. Yeah, so maybe we don't minus with Ugin then. Let's go for that onto the flyer. And so Comrade will ping us. Then we can go plus on Ugin. And we'll get rid of the Rashmi as well. And Val tapping some mana in response to that. So they might just want to get some value with Rashmi before it goes down. Either that or they can protect her. It is a Harrow into the Rhystic Study. And again, revealing a land with Rashmi. They haven't had the best luck there. And again giving Billy Kills a card, so those two teaming up against us for obvious reasons. If that's going to continue to occur, I think I will have to blow up the Rhystic Study. Anyway, Rashmi does go down, and Sir Conrad pings us all again. Let's attempt our Tevesh Szat. Might be able to end it all with Kamahl next turn. So going in for our Kamahl. And we'll put a mana into the Study. If we decide to go Beast Within onto the Study or anything else, we won't be able to put mana into it. Oh, actually, don't think we played a land this turn, so we will be able to. It seems as though Billy Kills doesn't have any counter magic, not sure about Val. Well, it comes down anyway. So we'll make some Thrall tokens. And those are 3/4s. We'll drop our Forest for the turn and continue to hold up the Beast Within. Fully expecting Mass Reanimation from Billy Kills at some point. Alright, well he's going for something at the end of the turn here. That is, each player mills a card. And we mill our Field of the Dead. So that's good for our opponent. They mill a Charcoal Diamond. And Val mills Jace, Architect of Thought. The one time that he doesn't reveal a land off the top. We need to be wary of going after anything of theirs here as well, because Sundial of the Infinite can end the turn and get rid of stuff on the stack. So we probably don't use Beast Within on their turn. Alright, Ancient Excavation says that they are probably still fishing for stuff. So they're going to draw 7 and discard 7 here. Maybe they're just setting up the Mass Reanimation like I said before. And some creatures going into the bin there, which is why Sir Conrad will be getting triggered. Flashbag Marauder, Tribute Mage, Massacre Worm won't be as relevant against us now thanks to that emblem. Grey Merchant of Asphodel. And then some lands, along with the Ancient Excavation is obviously in the bin now. And then it is Araumi again. I think they played a land there, so we could go for the Beast Within onto Rhystic now before Val decides to do anything and feed them more cards, although are we just getting rid of Billy Kills next turn? I think we've left him alone for long enough as thanks for the hatred. Well, we'll let Araumi down anyway. And then Val is going to go in for something. The Flash deck doing things at flash speed. Okay, just activating the Bonder's Ornament, which hasn't seen a lot of play since it was released. So that is just 4 mana for them to draw a card. Then Bonder's Ornament being activated again on Valdreig's turn, so must be fishing for something, probably a board wipe. Now Kalamax coming down for the first time in this game, I think. And again giving Billy Kills a card. There might be free counter magic to worry about over here, but I think we're just dumping Kamahl into play. Plussing some Planeswalkers and turning sideways next turn. So once again, I think we're leaving the Beast Within alone. Could try and fish some counter magic out of our opponent's hand by going Beast Within onto Kamahl. I think I might actually do that. If they've got counter magic, I assume they'll use it here. So let's pay into the Study and see if Val's got anything for Beast Within. If they've got things to do, I'd rather they did it here, but they either didn't have anything to do or they were F6'd. So I'm just going to assume they don't have anything. I think we can take out Billy Kills without the Kamahl anyway. There's a Worm Coil Engine, that's nice. Let's make some Wolf tokens. Make some Thrall tokens. Then we'll go for Kamahl and see if this gets any counter magic from anyone. Not going to pay into the Study because I might want to use Song of the Dryads. And I definitely want to play Concordant Crossroads, and we've only got 4 mana available to us. Valdreig is holding up priority there. Well, if he's got counter magic, he might use it on this. Concordant Crossroads gives all creatures haste. And again, we're feeding a card to Billy Kills because he's tapped out, and we're hoping to get rid of him this turn. But that lands as well. So yeah, let's leave our 2 planeswalkers left to be activated. We'll try and get rid of Billy Kills. Kamahl triggers +3/+3 and trample on all of our stuff. Might be able to get both players actually. We can always shoot them with the Ugin. I'll probably send through another creature there anyway, but let's put the rest in at Valdrieg and see what that totals up to. Yeah, so after blocks, there should be 33 points of damage going through to Billy Kills, and then it's 51 points of damage take away 3 to Valdrieg. So let's pull back a Thrall there, and we'll put that in towards Billy Kills. Really want rid of him this turn. And I still don't know if Val's got anything for us. Could have evacuation or something like that. Just blocking with the Triniform, and the Beast obviously blocks as well. But it seems as though damage is going through, so we can breathe a sigh of relief there, I think. No, Val now deciding to do something potentially. Exile all cards from all graveyards, okay. Well, that deals with Billy Kills nicely either way. Bunch of pings going on the stack for Sir Conrad. Luckily, we're not at too low a life total. We haven't taken that much damage thanks to all of our control this game. We go down to 18. Valdrieg goes down to 15. And there we are, getting rid of our opponents quite nicely there. -26 and -27. There was a little bit of mental arithmetic going on there. I had to obviously account for blockers, but I think it would have been fairly safe to just turn everything in sideways. We've got some really big creatures here, thanks to Kamahl and our emblem. Still had Apex Predator and Ugin to go for after that, so we could have minus down on Ugin and made a beast token to block the Triniform with. But yeah, that was a fairly convincing one. Managed to control the game out quite nicely. Be sure to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe if you did enjoy it. Big thank you to all the patrons for playing with me today, and I will see you all in the next one, I hope. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.